Okay. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to one and all present here. My name is Renuka Natarajan, and I would like to welcome you all for this new episode of We Care series. In this episode, we would like to focus on this unemployment and how to cross this phase of unemployment together with our respectable guests. To start with, let me introduce about IWF. It's a group for women, especially Indian women in Finland group, and it is mainly focusing to cater the social needs of Indian women living in Finland. And the group of women came together to form this IWF in 2015 February, and we are now more than 500 members. And the aim of the IWF is to bring together and help the Indian women in Finland and the Finnish society equally by providing information and providing suggestions and organizing different workshops to encourage each other talents. Today's series, we are going to focus on the unemployment. Basically, this is a very big issue nowadays, and we are going to focus with our respectable guests. And I have with me two other ladies who are going to moderate this session, Mitali and Archana. And we would like to focus on different aspects of needed for the sustainability and how to cross this unemployment phase together. So we have group of people, and over to Archana to introduce our guests.
Thank you, Renuka. It's my pleasure to introduce the first guest speaker for today, Tanya Kurunan from TE Toimisto. Tanya has been working in TE Toimisto for a year now. Especially, she has been involved in the development of the renewed lobby services, which TE Toimisto launched in September 2020. So at the lobby services, they assist the customers without any appointments. And Tanya has had a long career in aviation field, and she has also worked as a relocation specialist, helping foreign people relocating to Finland. Welcome, Tanya, and now the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Kuronen. I'm working in the TE office, and which is Finnish Public Employment and Business Services. And I try to get my screen on there so you can see this. There. Can you see it now? Okay, everybody.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Let's go then. So, TE office is helping you with all kinds of employment issues you might have, and unemployment, and if you're looking to change the career or anything like that. And who is eligible for the TE services? You have to have a right to work in Finland, so Finnish citizens, EU and ETA citizens, holders of a visa or a residence permit, which has a right to work without company restrictions. There are some restricted residence permit, which are tied to either a field of business or a company, and those are which are tied to a company. Then you can't work in any other company, and that's why you cannot also register with us. But if you are only field restricted, then you're welcome to come to our services. Immigration office is the one who is issuing all the residence permits. So if you have wrong kind of residence permit that you need, or you have any issues with that, you need to contact with them. Now, integration program is made, if you like it, it's made it within 3 years from the date of the first residence permit has been granted. And the law is very strict with this rule. So it's 3 years exactly, and you are entitled to have the integration program. It's made, the first one is always made for 1 year. And after that, it's renewed as needed. The integration services are offered as customer needs, maximum of 3 years, but might be less for example, high educated customers who might not need all the services. It can be extended up to 5 years for those customers who need extra help with integration. For example, the ones who are illiterate or very, very poor or non-basic education. It cannot be paused. So when the first integration plan has been done, it rolls on the 3 years. So you can't pause it if you're going to work or anything. Only parental leave, which is like maternal leave, is about 10 months in Finland. So this called hoitovapaa is not included to that. So it can be paused only for the maternal leave or the serious illness or injury. If you happen to be an unaccompanied minor coming to Finland or a stay-home mom when you're arriving, then your municipality of residence might be the one to making the first plan for you. So it's not always TE office. In integration program, we test first the language skills and the educational level, which means that that we know how what kind of courses and what kind of services do you need. There are many different levels of courses and studies, so it's no point to put high educated and illiterate people on the same course. So we check always the background, and we put you in a queue, and when the spot opens on the suitable course, you will be informed. Sometimes it might take a little while to get on one, but everybody will get the course in the end. It's not only the language skills, of course, it's very much all kinds of knowledge you need to live in Finland, how we work and how we spend time and how we deal with things in Finland and what living in Finnish society actually means. It is highly recommended also if you are highly educated, because during this time you can, for example, get your studies approved in Finland. It's made always according to customers' needs, and it's not always the 3 years. It might be 1 year, it might be 2 years or 3 years, depending on how much help any particular customer needs. After integration time has expired, so when the 3 years has gone, and if you still might need or want some courses, there is possible for some services after time, but you are then put on secondary line, so you get on a course if there is spots left on them, and there's usually a good chance to get on a course anyway. It just might take a little longer than it would be on a primary line. There is a link there to where you can see more about this integration program from the TE office websites, and I can get you, if you like, I can get you all these links for you, and you can pass them on everybody who wants. Then TE services help you with education and training as well. So while you're unemployed, we have this labor market training, which is for shorter kind of courses that help you get the qualification for certain fields, or maybe update on the skills and help you get the job. And it is recommendable to have your own initiative applying for these. These are usually applied online by the applicant. And some training programs are highly popular, and it's not always the first one that you get in, but when you're determined and apply again, you will get on one day. The students are chosen by TE office, and the different courses and trainings have different kind of admission criteria. So it's recommended to check them out before applying. You can also study independently in universities or colleges, and primarily they are to be supported by study grants and student loans, but there is a chance also to study with the unemployment benefit, which is a little bit more money than study grant. And these educations are the educational institution provided, and they are also choosing their own students. So you apply to them as you would apply to them without this option. TE office will check your situation and assess the requirements concerning your education and training, and if the needs and criteria for supporting independent study is valid, and then it gives the yes or no if you're allowed to do so. The studies must be agreed with TE office before the studies start. So it's good to talk about them well ahead of time. We can support them by unemployment benefits for 2 years maximum, and because most of these studies are 3 years or more, it's after 2 years you have to support your studies some other way. And also here is the next link to the TE office that have more information about it. These SIMHE services are offered by universities, and they are to verify your previous studies. So if you have a master degree in this or that, or you are a doctor, or you are a nurse, or you are lawyer in your own country, you need a certain permit to verify that in Finland, so you can actually practice your own profession. So SIMHE services help you with that, and you can ask about those in the local universities. We have work tryouts, so you can, if you are uncertain of your career or not sure if some work is for you, you can do a work tryout and learn about the working life and different job tasks and professional field and all these kind of things. It is granted up to 6 months, and it is always agreed part of the employment plan that is made in TE office when you register. We also have this individual job search guidance, and this is the email address that you can send documents, your CV, your application letters, and all this kind of stuff. And our specialists can comment them and help to improve them. You can also book an appointment for a personal Teams meeting. And it's usually about 45 minutes, and they can prep you with interviews and all these kind of things to help you approve your job searching skills. But you need to be registered for this, so you can get this service. Then I was asked to talk about the Palkkatuki, which is a pay subsidy. It is an economic benefit that TE office may grant to an employer to cover the pay cost of the unemployed job seeker. And it is always granted to employer, but the job seekers, it's based on job seekers needs to have this. The TE office may also grant a job seeker a pay subsidy card, which means that if they find a possible employer, the employer is then entitled to get this subsidy from TE office if they hire this person. It can be 30, 40, or 50% of the pay costs, and it might be granted for 6 to 24 months. The duration of the amount of the subsidy is decided case by case basis, and usually it is the longer the person has been unemployed before this employment, the higher the amount and longer the duration the subsidy is. Maximum pay subsidy is set in state budget, and in 2021 the maximum is 1,400 euros a month. And there is some information that you can get on the TE websites. There's a link, and then in English you can ask about it from the this phone number that is shown. Then if you're unemployed, happen to get unemployed, then you have to register with us as a job seeker. You can fill out the online form in this address that is shown, and you can visit the local TE office and fill out the paper form. In these cases, you have to identify yourself. You will get the letter or a text message to ask you to identify yourself, and you can do it if you have a internet banking codes. You can do it in Oma Asiointi, or you can go to local TE office in person and identify you there. We need to see your identity, a valid identity card or passport or any kind of other kind of identification, and your residence permit. And they also they have to be the actual cards and actual passports, and we don't accept the photocopies of them. And there is on our websites there are quite good instructions how to register and how it will go. And after that, of course, you want to apply for the unemployment benefit. So It is paid by the unemployment fund, which is often related to a membership of the labor union, or Kela, which is a Finnish social insurance institution. And once you have registered, you can then apply for the unemployment benefit. And the T office will issue the labor policy statement, which is sent straight to your payer. But you need to apply for the money from the payer yourself. So we cannot do it for you. The unemployment funds and the Kela will then verify that you meet the conditions of the previous employment. Now, this is what I need to talk with you as well, very quickly. The local government pilots on employment is started on 1st of March 2021, and it will go on until 30th of June 2023. This means that the task of the T office concerning certain customer groups are transferred via legislation to the municipality participating in pilots. And when the customer is transferred to a local government pilot, his or her services will be primarily provided by his or her municipality of residence. Transfer is automatic and based on a customer profile, and the customer is informed when the transfer happens. The registration happened in T office anyway, so you register in T office and you will be let know if you are transferred to this government pilot. Both offices provide basically the same services anyway, so you don't get any less on either of them. And of course there are on our website there are more information about this, and I will include this one on the list of the links that I will provide for you then. And here on the last, I have some links that you might be interested. So there are some Finnish courses from finishcourses.fi. So if you want to learn Finnish on your own cost, then there's some information about Finland generally in a couple of different good websites. And then if you are looking for a job, which is always recommendable, then there are some English job sites in English, and that are providing some kind of jobs that you don't need the Finnish language in it, so you can work actually in English. So there are websites for that as well. But this is all I have for now. Hopefully this is not like a machine gun rate that somebody understood something, but I'm open for questions and I can answer if you send something in the chat, and I will then check them out and answer the best I can.
Thank you, Tanya. The Q&A will happen at the end of the session. So if there are any questions in between, we will send it to you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya, for the wonderful session. And it was quite detailed, in fact. And many of the things even I didn't know this much after being here for a very long time in Finland. So thank you once again. And let's move to the next speaker, Melissa Arni-Harden and Grace Ondo from Talent Espoo. Melissa has been planning and organizing and leading several projects and initiatives related to Talent Espoo, and she has had her attraction and retention in Finland, and in 2011, together with Technopolis, she launched Talent Match program, and the concept was introduced and the talent pitching and reverse pitching for the recruiters was happened. And she also currently is responsible for the Talent Espoo actions from the city of Espoo. And she is also part of the National Talent Boost program. She is passionate about building bridges between cultures and fostering dialogue between the public and private sectors, which IWF likes the most. And that's why you are here today. And we look forward for your presentation now. Please go ahead.
Lovely. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I will share my presentation with you. And as you mentioned, I have Grace, a colleague with me here today, and also Nagendra. I think I saw his name also on the participant list. So he's also in our team. So there's 3 of us here now joining you today, and very happy to be here. And I suppose sort of where Tanya left off about the local government pilots. I'm kind of like continuing on that as representing the city of Espoo, who is one of the cities that has been that is running these pilots. And I wrote already in the chat that the organization in our city that is responsible for running this pilot, which is now has been mentioned or decided that it will also continue after the trial period in 2023. So we call that organization Työllisyys Espoo, so Employment Espoo. And Tanya, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you mentioned that the certain customers will then, if you register as an unemployed into the unemployment office as a job seeker, so the criteria based on which you are, whether you are going to the city services, the local trial services, or remain in the TE office. So it's if you are receiving this income-based benefit, unemployment benefit, so then that will be TE office providing the service. And also if you are employed but looking for a job, then you will be the TE office customer. But then in the other cases, it will be now the cities here in the capital region. It's Espoo, Helsinki, and Vantaa are all running their own pilots. So, but today I'm talking about how we in the city of Espoo support both the international talent communities as well as our employers in finding each other. And our excuse me. So our goal is to help you navigate your way to the Finnish networks that then bring value to you both professionally and socially, and want to make you feel at home in Espoo and in Finland. And the Talent Espoo mission is to connect international talents and employers, and do that by increasing the awareness and the availability of the services that the city itself and the other Talent Boost stakeholders have on offer. We have made some strategic alignments, so to speak, that we integrate as much as possible our activities related to supporting international talents, both here in Finland and abroad, finding their way to Finland, into the existing city services and operations. And we want to lead by example. So we're putting a lot of emphasis on increasing the diversity within our own organization. So sort of trying to put our money where the mouth is. We also do sort of rapid prototyping and co-creation with our customers, so both with the employers and international talents. We see that talent attraction is the result of successful retention. So while we do see that both aspects are important, it's important to attract talent that employers are not able to find in Finland, but at the same time making sure that they are aware of the talent pool that we have already here in Finland. We want to be a proactive partner, both with the national and regional talent boost stakeholders. So, for example, Jochen, who is also here with us today, he's a very important partner, and his colleagues as well for us. And also supporting the talent's own agency, kind of like in these activities. So by inviting into co-creation and co-developing our services, one reason for that is that we want to also empower the people themselves to be active agents in this work that we are doing. And face-to-face networking, well, obviously it's now kind of like face-on-screen to face-on-screen networking mostly these days, but we are optimistic that this day will come when we can all meet face-to-face. Also, operating as much as possible bilingually, that if we run, for example, events, that we would design the program so that it's possible to follow in English and in Finnish, and also with the developing Finnish language skills. So what is Talent Espoo? Well, it's built on networks. In the center are the employers and talents. Whatever we do with the educational organizations or service providers, public sector, different association organizations, unions, companies, other cities, etc., is to do with the will and purpose of finding ways to facilitate the interaction between employers and talents. And as was already mentioned, I think in the introduction, so Talent Espoo is our way of contributing to the National Talent Boost program, and we're funded also by the Ministry of Employment and Economy. So this is kind of like the general framework and background where we are coming from. So what is it that we actually do? So if we think about providing, what do we need to do in order to make the talents and employers meet? So in practice, this means that we have two types of customers. So we have the job seeker customer. There is the interview and mapping phase of understanding what the needs of the job seeker are, and then familiarizing what kinds of resources there are available to then curate and develop the career path. And recognizing degrees was already mentioned in Tanja's presentation. So working with the SIMHE universities is very, very important to get these recognized degrees recognized when it's a question of a regulated profession. Then on the other side, we have the employers. So what we do there, we stay tuned and monitor and analyze what the employer needs are, and we do proactive customer and partner acquisition, and of course build customer relationships with the employers. And with employers we mean, of course, not only kind of like private sector companies, but NGOs and the public sector also, including our own organization, the City of Espoo, are sort of our customers and partners. And with those, we make the tools that also Tanya mentioned, the pay subsidies, the different options for recruiting by trainings, and different tools there are to support the language and cultural and diversity related barriers to be kind of like overcome in the workplace. So we connect those, and then the kind of like end result that we want to reach, in other words, having the two parties meet and get to know each other. We have these matchmaking services. There are the job boards, for example. The Jobs in Finland is one example of the job boards that Tanya also already mentioned. We have the events in, for example, upcoming events. I'll have a list of those later on, but matchmaking and recruitment events. And then our business coordinators are doing also CV shortlisting from the candidates that they have in their pool who have registered as job seekers. We have some networking platforms in place. We have just recently created the Talent Espoo LinkedIn group. We will be moving into a physical space of our own in Otaniemi, October, November. So keeping our fingers crossed, we get the keys in on the 1st of October, and a few weeks from there, hopefully we will have the place up and running. And the other important tool for us to bring international talents and employers together is to look for projects where they can co-develop, co-create also together with us our services and new concepts. And here I would like to ask if Grace, you could quickly introduce yourself as well. We've had the pleasure of having you now for, is it 2 weeks? You've been with us and moving full speed ahead with developing services that are specifically and especially important for those who have come to Finland based on their spouse's job landing here. So please, Grace, I'll give the floor to you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Ondo, and I started 3 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry.
With the City of Espoo. And so I'm a coordinator here at City of Espoo, and I'm in charge of developing our services specifically tailored for spouses. And by spouses, we mean the people who moved to Finland because their partner got a job here. So we are currently building our program in cooperation with other initiatives in the capital regions that are working with spouses. And our goal is to support the social and career life of spouses, but also the employers. You can see my contact on the screen. If you are yourself a spouse and if you are interested in what we are currently developing with the City of Espoo, feel free to send me an email so I know that I can keep you updated once our program is a bit more ready. We're supposed to get started in October, so it's very soon. Yes, I think maybe that's it for me.
Thanks so much, Grace. And if we move on, some other concrete activities that are going on. So Entry Point Mentoring Program is now sort of the mentee recruitment is still going on. It's a good way to build long-lasting relationships and expanding your networks in Finland. And for us, it's not only a way to support the job seekers network building in Finland, but it's also a very important tool for us to support the diversity and inclusion competence development of organizations. Marina Ponomareva is the coordinator responsible for that. I don't have now, there's a purpose why I don't have any links here now to show you it. And the reason is that we are renewing our website. So we will launch a new website on September 1st. So if I give any links now, they will be broken by Wednesday, but there will be, I will let you know in the end how you can stay tuned for the time being on what we are doing. Then City of Espoo, a part of our local employment pilots is the Competence Center for Highly Educated Immigrants. So we have 2 competence centers, and one is a part of our Employment Espoo organization, and one is a hybrid between the city and Omnia educational institution. So that's the Omnia Skills Center. And the process in this competence center is that you will have it will be a 10-month period, and the aim is to have run through 400 clients in a year, and the customers of the competence center are kind of like the prerequisites are that you are a registered unemployed job seeker, were born outside of Finland, looking for a full-time job, registered as an Espoo resident, B1 level Finnish, or fluent in English and looking for a job in specific sectors. And to become a client of this competence center, you go through the Oma Asiointi e-service, and you indicate your interest to be a customer to the competence center, and then your details will be transferred to the team. So here are also some more concrete things in the works. So we have 3 events coming up, sort of professional networking and matchmaking events. Talent Boost Summit is actually, it's a 2-day event. I have forgotten to correct it. So it's October 28 and 29. Then we are organizing an online pitching event in January, and then also another recruitment event in March. Let's hope we are already able to do it not only virtually but also physically. And these are, of course, these are not only for Espoo companies or for Espoo job seekers, so they are open to all. We plan to launch monthly Monday meetups. When we get to launch those face-to-face depends on how our remote working policy will be developed, and I think it will be still a bit uncertain, at least until the end of September. We are having a Hello Espoo event coming up now in September, and the next one is scheduled for January. These Hello Espoo events are about providing information about the different services that the City of Espoo provides for its international citizens. And also we hope TBC is to be considered, to be confirmed, and again, depending on the COVID situation, but we would love to have a Pikkujoulu potluck so that we could maybe combine it with the housewarming party of our new Talent Espoo hub. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and planning also to have a family fun event around Easter next spring. So as mentioned, we are renewing our website. Until then, I recommend you keep an eye on the Hello Espoo Facebook group and request to join the Talent Espoo LinkedIn group. And these will be the places where you can get updated about what's going on. And also with the website renewal, we will also then work on getting a newsletter sign up form opened soon. Here I have the final slide with the contact details of the key contact people in our team and organization. So I think with this slide, I thank you for your attention and for your invitation to the event, and I do look forward to continuing collaboration with the Indian Women in Finland Association on kind of like a wider topics, and kind of like together develop also the way how we can work together on a longer term and in different ways and forms. But for now, thanks so much, and I will now give the floor to the next speaker. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Melissa, Grace, and Nagendra. I'm sure you are a great team, and I hope and I wish that your all events will be a great success. And now I would like to introduce Jochen Fagwell from Spouse Program. He's a business coach and the project planner of the Spouse Program, an integration program run by the city of Helsinki in collaboration with the cities of Espoo and Vantaa. His passion is helping other people become a better version of themselves. In his context, he coaches topics related to soft skills as well as goal setting, confidence, and success. Through his previous work in the corporate and startup scene and his latest responsibilities in the Spouse Program, Jochen had a good understanding of challenges job seekers face and can give an overview of different options people can approach in order to get back to the environment. Welcome you.
Thank you so much, Mitali, and thank you very much for IWF to have me, and for everybody else for your attention you will give me now, hopefully for the next like 20 minutes or so. So as Mitali already said, my presentation will be slightly different than the one from the TE office and Espoo. I will talk maybe more like as a business coach, coaching soft skills and personal or professional growth, among other things, and maybe trying to encourage you and push you kind of in a different or in the right direction, and show you what options you might have if you are actually looking for a job. I am the project planner of the Spouse Program as well, which is run by the city of Helsinki, and as such I've already been working with Espoo, Vantaa and the TE office in close collaboration. So really nice to be here. With Grace, I had the pleasure to work already in her previous position, and really nice to continue now. And obviously, also as Melissa said, hopefully International Working Women of Finland, and we can keep working together. Okay, so let's see. I'll try to share my screen. It's a nice way to end the week. So hopefully the technique is on our side. Okay, and if everything should go well, you should be able to see my screen now. Okay, so let's talk a bit about professional growth and what you can actually do if you want to find a job, or maybe what other alternatives there are if you are maybe not at the moment able to find a job. So one thing, if we think a little bit about the mindset we should have, talking about professional growth, there are a few things we should consider. And please forgive me, those of you who have been here for longer and who might have been looking for a longer time for a job, for some of you that's more obvious, but for others that this might be new. But I hope overall everybody can get something out of it. But let's see, what do we need? If you really want to grow professionally, first of all, what we need is clarity, right? What exactly is it we want to have? Do we want to study something specific, or do we want to have a job? And if we want to have a job, what precisely would that job be? Because the more clear we are about our goal, the easier it is to set the right action steps and to go into the right direction, and not possibly getting lost with too many options we might have and support systems that might help us. Another thing, once we have that goal, it's so important to actually look at the skill set we have and the skill set we are missing. And particularly when we are talking about skills we have, it can take quite a while to list all of those. Might be an effort of a few hours, maybe some days, maybe even weeks, where we constantly work on that list. And especially if you bring a lot of experience with you, often we may not always remember all the skills we have. But having that understanding is extremely important to know what you bring to the table, but equally what you still have to improve. If you have a goal, a concrete goal in mind, it's really important to look at your network. Who are the people you already know that can support you? And more often than not, you will realize that you have actually quite a few people in your network that would be the first person or the easiest access point who can help you to move into the right direction. And then the last part would be the language. And here there might be different opinions. Some people might say that it's important to learn the language, to learn Finnish as good as possible so that you can compete with the local people. Other people might say, well, how long would it take you to learn Finnish so well that you actually would be capable of competing? I'm not saying the one is right and the one is wrong, probably depends on the goal you have, but just try to ask yourself that question and reflect for yourself, because it is ultimately a very important one. Here are just a few, these are not links, but if you type exactly that into Google, you will find it immediately, or then I put in brackets what you should type. But if, for example, you're looking for a job, I think employment services, we've heard it the first presentation, it's a very valuable source to start with. So please go there. If you may want to look for coding or learning how to code or more about IT, and you want to switch in that profession, you can, for example, check Integrify. The shortcut is a great place to start if you want to develop from a business perspective, whether it's entrepreneurial or finding a job. If you want to build your own company, Niukko Helsinki is a great place to look at. And then if you want to further educate yourself, there are quite a few options you see here, from actual university to higher education institutes or simply open courses you can visit. Now, what are we doing if we actually try to find a job and look for those open positions? Well, first of all, be active, be consistent, and be patient. Be active and work hard, make it your job. When I was unemployed, I went 5 days a week for 8 hours to the library, right? Looking for jobs, applying for jobs, that's what I did. And that was my job for the time being. Be consistent, because the more consistent you are in sending job applications, the more likely you are to get more of them back and to keep learning, whether from your success or from your failure. But if you're very active for a week and then you don't do anything for 2 months and then again you're active for a week, it's much more challenging to learn and eventually grow and find a job. And be patient. It's a mindset. If you understand that it will take a long time and that you're not only competing with international, but also with local people for whom it takes a long time to find a job, you may not be that quickly discouraged. And obviously that's not what we want, because then our confidence is gone. A few things to consider, right? Again, have clarity. The worst thing people can do is when they tell me, Jochen, I need a job. What are you looking for? I'm open for everything. That's the worst thing you can do, because if you're open for everything, how can I help you? If you tell people I'm looking for a job, no matter what, when would they know what to tell you, right? So you have to be very specific in your own understanding, like what is it precisely you are looking for? And once you know what you're looking for, it's very important to list all the possible companies and organizations where you possibly could apply for. And I'll get in a second back to that, why that is so important. Be sure to have an updated CV and cover letter, which is kind of expected to have in a Finnish job environment. It very well might be that you have a very good CV letter from India, which is, in part in your country and in your home region, but that does not necessarily mean that that's what the Finnish job market is looking for. There are many opportunities where to check that. Internet, colleagues, professional people who can help you. workshops that are out there, but make sure that is updated based on the standards here. Equally important, LinkedIn, right? In Finland, if you want to find a job, it's much easier if you have a LinkedIn profile. Some people say, yeah, but if I open a LinkedIn profile now, I have no contacts. Well, that's true, but when do you want to start, right? The best way to start is right now. And I can give you an example. We have Irina, a spouse in our program, and she managed to get 500 contacts within a couple of months. To quite a bit of work, but it's possible. And they have an elevator pitch. Now, what does that mean? An elevator pitch means that you're capable of telling what job you're looking for, why you're looking for the job, and why you are the right person to do so, to be hired for that job. It's pretty difficult to get that elevator pitch, but in order to do so, you already get quite a bit of clarity on the skills you have, on what you really want, and you have a wonderful tool to tell somebody in a quick way what it is you're looking for. Here you have a few options where you can find jobs. There are many others out there. One tip is also check web pages of potential organizations. So here we are coming back why it is so important to have this organizational overview, because then you can simply see which of these companies, organizations have open positions on their web page. Be active, very important, and also join social media groups. For example, International Job Seekers of Helsinki. There you can tell what you're looking for, and at the same time, people are posting jobs there. So that's when we go back, the open job market. What about the hidden job market? That's a bit of a different story, right? But first of all, again, a little mind change, changing of mindset. Sometimes people complain that there are like, I don't know, it's like 70–80% of jobs actually hidden. And they say it's very unfair because I can't see them. But for me, it's actually a good thing. It's an opportunity for you to improve your situation. Hidden jobs are given away because for some reason, relationships, networking, trust matter, right? So that's something you can do. You can work on your relationships and you can work on your network. But if every single job would be open, you would constantly compete for every job with hundreds or thousands of people. So your chances to get a job wouldn't actually be better. So see it as a good thing. Let people know what you're looking for. Sometimes we might be too shy or too proud to tell that we are unemployed or that we are looking for a job. But if you don't let your environment know that you're looking for a job, well, how would they know when to offer it to you if they might have something suitable? Send open applications. Again, if you have a list of all the companies that are relevant for you, you can send an open application, or you know where to send open applications. Follow organizations and relevant people. No, not physically, but on LinkedIn, for example, or social media. And consider startups. They are a wonderful option to work and to start getting experience. And especially many of them may not always require Finnish as a language. And one of the easiest way to figure out which startups are hiring in advance is to figure out which of those startups got lately investment. Usually if they get a big investment amount, they soon will start to hire. So you can be the first one to introduce yourself. So what about professional networking? I think all of you here and our experts will agree that networking is a very vital part in Finland if you want to grow professionally. The important question you have to ask yourself is where do you find the relevant people? Right? Some people say you shouldn't distinguish between social networking and professional networking because if you really mean it, success will come. I'm not one of those people. I think that if you really are looking for people that can help you professionally, it's much better, much more efficient to look for those platforms and events that bring you together with those people. So where do you find those? Business events is one of the most efficient ways of how to connect with these people. At the moment, a bit tricky. Hopefully, we soon can get back to that, but keep those in mind. Social media is, at the moment, the most efficient, the most successful way of how to connect with people. But it requires work, because I can't simply go to an event and say hi and shake somebody's hand and exchange business cards. So what can we do? We have to make ourselves visible. We have to make sure that people recognize us. One efficient way of doing that is to follow companies or organizations we are interested in, to follow people we are interested in and connecting with them. And a very big or great advice I got once was from an American marketing influencer, Gary Vaynerchuk. Not sure if you're familiar with him, but he said that if you want to really make most of LinkedIn, what you should do is every day spend at least an hour and look at 10 posts that are relevant for you and comment on those posts. But don't just give a thumbs up or a smiley or say, hey, that's great, right? Engage people. Contribute with a meaningful comment, or even better, ask them a question. You know, hey, that sounds interesting, but I didn't really understand that, or how come you wrote something like that? That's a really good way to engage people and making sure that they get back to you. Right? And if you are in those groups that are relevant for your working field, be active, post, show that you have expertise. And then obviously things like where do you your kindergarten, daycare, other social engagements, hobbies, there are plenty of opportunities where you could meet people that are valuable for your network. Here just a very few selection of organizations you could reach out to, but obviously if you start searching, you will find so many more. And please remember, networking is a numbers game. I had a colleague once she came here from the Ukraine, and for the first half a year, she met 2 people every week for coffee. And she told me, Jochen, most of them I met just once and there was no value at all. But obviously, if you keep repeating that, you will eventually meet those people that are of great value for you. And also important to remember, it's not only about what you are looking for, but also be aware of what you can give people. Networking very much depends on giving and taking. Okay. So another option we should, of course, mention is creating your own company. And I've been working in the startup scene. I've been coaching startups. And I know that it's a wonderful opportunity. I mean, if you really want to learn a lot and grow professionally and personally, running your own startup, your own company is a great way to do so, but it is extremely hard work. Opening a company, that's very easy. Doesn't take much. But keeping it alive, making it profitable, that's hard work. And you have to have the right mindset. Right, so you have to be capable of dealing with stress. You might have to be capable of sacrificing quality time you might otherwise have with your family. And if you are a person that rather wants to have steady monthly income, that might not be the thing for you. But if you have the right mindset, by all means, try it out. But let's say that before you jump now to the opportunity and put all your money and your energy in there, you should first ask yourself a few questions, right? Can you actually turn your idea into a product? Who are the customers? How will you reach those customers? So do you have enough customers? How will you make money? And how long can you survive until you make enough money? Right? Those questions should be kind of the first ones you ask yourself. Once they are done, you can move forward to stage 2. And then Newco Helsinki, again, I'm sure Espoo has a similar station for that one. But at least from our side, Newco Helsinki is a great point of access if you really want to have advice on how to proceed with your company. One of the most important tips I can give you is please talk to people who went through the same experience, right? You don't have to make mistakes other people have already made. And people who went through that process can give you a lot of valuable tips. And also consider light entrepreneurship, right? You don't have to start right away with a full-blown company. Maybe you can work as a freelancer, which especially in the beginning, until you're shuffling in the millions and so on, might be a good option. Volunteering at the end, just to mention briefly, It's a great way to gather experience, to connect with people, to it can be a valuable step to a job within the organization itself or other people who can introduce you to jobs. And it's very meaningful. And sometimes having just that, especially if we are unemployed for a longer period of time, and we may not have much other than our family, volunteering can be a wonderful experience that gives us meaning and hence a bit more confidence in the time where we might struggle. Here are a few things or a few possible links to volunteering, but again, so many more options you can find there. As I mentioned just briefly about the spouse program, so it's for those of you who came to Finland because your partner moved here and found a job here. And if you fit that criteria, you're more than welcome to join. So if you just go to our webpage, you will find more information. It's important to understand we are not an employment program, but we are an integration program. So we try to help you understanding Finland a bit better from a professional, but also from a social and the cultural side. We have workshops, networking events. We have just now next Tuesday, we will have a sightseeing tour through Helsinki. And we try to bring it together also with companies and do different activities there. But this talk was not about that. Just keep that in mind. If you have more questions regarding that or regarding my presentation, I'm more than happy if you reach out and we can keep continuing this chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm sure that people will now boost more motivation to work hard, and I hope sure they will get the job soon. And now, before going for the next level, I would just love to say that we will open a panel discussion for which we had created a poll, and we will then move to the frequently asked questions. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you, Mithali. So before we move to the poll, I just wanted to introduce, we have the two other panelists who will be joining us today, Vismit Chawla and Sanobar Masalawala. Vismit is a recruitment specialist who works for Relex Solutions. She's passionate about identifying and connecting with people and empowering talent at the right time and right place. She has extensive experience in recruitment of the Indian, Danish, and Finnish markets for critical business and niche competencies. Welcome, Vismit. Sanobar Masalawala moved to Finland in summer of 2018, and she has a postgraduate in management. She has pursued a career in recruitment and resourcing of talented professionals in India and Finland. Currently, she also works along with Vismit in the talent acquisition specialist at Relex Solutions. Welcome you all to this panel discussion. So before we move to the polls, how do you feel the current job market in Finland looks like? It could be.
I can take that question if you want. If you're asking to us, or is it a general question?
Yeah, in general, it could be like among any of you who could take it up and discuss.
I think I would say that when I moved last year, it was COVID, and still it is. We're still living in the same situation. So what I believe is the market definitely would have changed. I was in Denmark before that, and it was a tougher market than Finland. And I was taken by surprise when I moved at the time of COVID, but still I had all these resources, which Melissa and T support, and then Jochen has mentioned about, which I didn't have in Denmark. So I definitely leveraged all those things today, which was presented to us. So I would say that we are in a very, very better condition than what I have experienced in Denmark. That's my personal opinion. And that's why I always have this, I really believe on this quote that if you don't catch a fish, you don't blame the fish, you just change your technique. And I strongly believe in that. So if you're not getting a job, just don't cry about it. We have heard the presenters today. So we have a lot of opportunities here, a lot of resources to leverage upon, and then work on ourselves, and just be patient, as Jochen mentioned. So yeah, it's a very good market, and especially this year,
it has taken, like, I was lucky to find a job this year. So I would say that this year definitely is better than last year.
Yeah, thank you, Vismit. And since you have been in talent recruitment, what has been your experiences now in onboarding people into the right opportunities?
So since the market is open now, we are also recruiting. So definitely, and we are also exploring talents outside Finland. So we are not restricting ourselves only to Finland. So we are also looking for people who are competent enough, like the spouses here, if they have relevant talent, IT skills, we definitely are giving opportunity to them. So as a talent acquisition specialist, specifically at RELX, we have open to remote assignment. We are open to relocation, and we're also considering talents who are available here, like the spouses who might be fitting into the competency level we require. So yeah.
Would you have Sanobar comments on it?
Yeah, well, I agree with Vismeet, where it's regarding the fact of what RELX is doing at the moment and how we are hiring. I would also like to say that there are multiple positions that are open right now, tech and non-tech positions. Many of them require fluent English. If that is one condition that is very important for all of us when we are searching for a job, then yes, that's also there. But looking at the market right now, this is the time to apply. This is the time to be very active. Proactiveness is a mandate thing if you are really wanting to look for a job and get a job. And I think I landed up at RELX is because of the constant proactiveness. Like Jochen said, it's the fact that you have to make it as your job, to look for a job. And that's what I was practically doing. I was sitting on LinkedIn from morning 9 to 5 and trying to look and network and find jobs. And I think after so much effort, it pays off. So I would just like to, give an encouraging word to everybody out there that please don't stop, just keep going, and you will get some great fruits out of it.
So Vismit, like, what are things you did before landing to a job in Finland? What kind of?
Yeah, I think I did everything which Jochen has mentioned and which Sanobar is mentioning. So I did the same. But yeah, why I did the same thing, because I already had experience in the other Nordic markets. So I didn't land it from India directly to Finland. So I was aware about the challenges of getting a job in and how you need to be prepared and how you need to leverage and what you need to do to find a job in this market, because I assumed that, and I was very patient and I was not expecting a job in 10 months time. I was fortunate that I got this because I was proactively networking. I was not leaving a single event. I was attending all the events online. I was meeting people. I was connecting with them. I was posting. I was commenting on LinkedIn. I participated in the elevator pitch where one of my colleagues from RELX, she heard me in that, and that's how I landed a job in RELX. So you could understand that how these things, what we have been talking about and what the presenters have presented, plays an important role, that every small efforts count. Just be patient enough. And I didn't focus on if I won't get a job or not. I was more focusing on leveraging and learning from people rather than just saying that, okay, I will maintain this relationship only till the time I have a job. So that's a very wrong perspective people have, because even after having job, I still comment and I still connect with people, and I try to learn new things every day. So yeah, I did volunteering. I am actively involved with certain work groups because I'm passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I'm volunteering with different organizations, and these things nobody taught me or told me to do, but I was interested in doing that. I was passionate about it. So I followed my passion. I was always interested into recruitment. So yeah, I think it was an easy ride for me. And I was hoping that I might get a job in 2 years or 3 years. That's okay. I'll just try to develop myself. So I think the day you have that kind of attitude, I think it becomes a little easier. Believe me, it's a different country. We are an outsider. So we have to do 2 times more efforts than what the local person might be doing. So in terms of understanding a language, learning a language, or upgrading your skill set. So you'll have to do that because you're competing with the localites. So yeah, that was it from my end. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, I accept Vismit's point too, because the attitude of the people, what I see here, is very much important. So even the polls also say that, and I also see that the responses from the polls also say that they are putting so much of efforts, but then they think that if you put one effort at a point of time, then you get a result immediately, and that doesn't happen. In at least in Finland, what I have noticed is that one, and you have to be staying so patiently, and then like upgrading every now and then your things, and also networking also helps that way. But before going to the polls, I have a question to Tanya from the audience, and the question is, I have my residence permit. My residence permit was granted in October 2018, and then the TE integration program from March 2019 to October 2019. That is, she has undergone a integration program of 6 months maybe. And then I went on a maternity leave. And before my maternity leave ended, I got an admission to the university. That's good. And the question here is, after completing my degree in 2022, if I don't get a job, can I again apply for the integration program or unemployment benefits? So this is why I took up this question. Is it's exactly the one what we are talking with Vismit just before. So it's like the patience also is much needed. So you are my questions to Tanya, the question to Tanya is this, but my point is also that you have to put your efforts and patiently wait for it. So I would rather wait with a very positive attitude and then go ahead. But still, let's hear what Tanya says from the TE point of view.
Yes, it's of course, you can get the unemployment benefits if you're entitled to it, and if you don't have a job and you are not studying, you should be eligible for it. And what comes to the integration program, it depends on when was your first plan made. So the time starts running from the date that the first integration plan has been made, and it's 3 years after that. And then you can, the maternity leave, so approximately 10 months can be taken off from that. But the studies will continue your integration time. So you can then count on that. So when was the first one? So it can be possible that you might still have some time left there. So it's always worth to ask.
Yeah, thank you. And I have one more question to you regarding the B1. The questioner here has a B1 level of Finnish language, and now she wanted to improve the language skills to B2 level. And does TE office gives any Finnish courses to improve this level of Finnish?
We do have courses with the integration program, and they will be then marked on your integration plan. And but we don't provide the courses ourselves, so we usually get the experts to do those for us, and it's always marked on your plan that what kind of courses and what kind of help you need, and then try to work on that. And we can support those kind of studies, because Finnish language is, of course, very important to get a job in Finland. Many industries still require that, and and it's always worth to come and talk with us, and we can help. And if we can't provide it for you, we many times we have some places where to check for that, and where you can. Of course, we have connections to, so we can give you boost for the right place, so we can point you on the right place if we can't help you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And maybe this question goes to Jochen, or Melissa can answer this question. What do you think about people's approach towards job opportunities in general? How do you see that people approach the job opportunity?
Yeah, I can maybe start. Of course, there are a lot of different ways, right? Some people are very active. I think Vismit was a great example, right? How active she has been participating in spouse program and really making use of all the options she has. And I think that's the right way to go. Right? And as Sanova pointed out, right, it's our job, right? And it's difficult to compete with the local people. So maybe we have to work even a bit harder. I'm from Austria myself, so I'm not a Finnish person, and I've went through that. Even there though, when you're very active, you can be very active and do it wrong, or you can be very active and you can do it efficient, right? So of course it would be a shame to lose energy going the wrong way. That's why it's so important to know what you actually want to do. One wrong way would be to apply for everything. I've tried it for a while, and A, you get a lot of no's, which is bad for your confidence level, and B, you're never really pleased if you are hunting for jobs you don't even want. So try to apply for those jobs you really want, and be smart about it. But what I also see is that there are some people, let's say they are part of the spouse program or of the TE office or integration office, and then they think that things will fall into their lap. That doesn't really work. You have to be active. And what I unfortunately also see sometimes is that, especially people, if they have been unemployed for longer, they kind of use being a foreigner as an excuse to say, well, it's no surprise that I don't find a job because I'm a foreigner. If only I would be a local. And then they may forget to look at all the other things they might do wrong in order to find a job. So I think there are very different approaches to work, but you should definitely just do it in a smart way and do it in a hard way. And that usually pays off eventually.
Yeah. Grace has her hands up.
Yes, I have a comment also on that. Wait, I put my hand down. The first thing that I have noticed in the people I've been working with is that they tend to neglect the importance of networking in Finland, but in the sense of building connections here. This is a small country and everyone knows everyone, specific, especially when we go to industry specific sort of bubbles. So getting to know people, getting to have professionals who work here, who can be your references on your resume, people who can give you insider's knowledge on how does an industry work or a sector work. This is so important, and many people tend to maybe disregard it. And the second thing, Jochen has given you tough love, so I'm going to go on the other side, that like, yes, it's important to not complain, but it's also important to remember your own well-being and mental health, and have this balance with also personal life, friends, hobbies, resting, because otherwise I've seen many people we work with kind of wanting the job so bad that the only thing they do, even in the weekends, even at night, is focusing on looking for a job. And you can't, on the long term, you can't do it. It's not sustainable. Like remembering this balance of just a social life, being part of a community, and taking care of your own health and mental health is so important also.
I think Melissa had also her hand up.
Thanks. Yeah. Good comments and good questions. And What I'd like to sort of get back to a little bit is this kind of like combine the topics that were briefly addressed, one with the language and one with the sort of social networking opportunities, for example, in kids' schools or kids' hobbies and so on. And we are often, you know, as the city providing the educational services, we are often sort of approached with the question, why don't you have more English language education? Of course, I mean, I understand there's the logic behind the question, but then I also sort of would like to emphasize the opportunities that if you put your kid in the Finnish language track, you know, if the challenge is that you're not able to get into the Finnish networks, but then you want to put the kids in the English language schools, then sort of you are kind of like keeping yourself inside the bubble. So when not only that you're providing your children a good opportunity to learn a new language, which is easy for kids. I mean, kids pick up languages like sponges, and that way kind of like get into the Finnish networks. I think that's something worth considering. And about learning Finnish language, I think it was an excellent way how Johan kind of like, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. I think it's in my opinion, it's very polarized, the discussion around the language issue, that you know, either, you know, the organization must be totally operating in English, or you must learn totally fluent Finnish, where the answer is somewhere in between in reality. But when there is this, sometimes you hear this kind of like reasoning that why learn a language which only 5.6 million are we now speak as a mother tongue. I would sort of challenge that by saying that what is the byproduct? What are the kind of like the add-on competences that you gain when you learn different languages? I speak, my mother tongue is Finnish, but I all in all speak 6 other languages to one level or the other. None of them which I speak, except for English, kind of like use constantly, that have like a real kind of like everyday functional value. But what these languages have taught me, I think, are skills that especially our kids need in the future. It's empathy, it's the understanding of being able to step into other people's shoes and understanding different ways of looking at the words. So there I'm kind of like, this is my 2 cents on the language issue.
Yeah, it's more with getting into the culture also, so that you know the people very well. And I truly support it. And where else you will learn Finnish if you are not learning in Finland? So that's also there. Yeah.
Community right now. So that's how it is. That's a easy way of integrating with the community, especially when you have kids, because they all go to school. They have to go for hobby classes. And that's a wonderful way to, you know, find connection and networking as well. Yeah. And I think Grace and Sanobar also has something to say.
I had Sanobar, I have a very quick comment just to continue what Melissa was saying about languages. Also a reminder for your audience that Finland has 2 official languages, Finnish and Swedish. And in some places in Finland, it can be smart to try to learn Swedish rather than Finnish. So depending on situation and your personal, like, social networks, your industry, many different criteria. Sometimes Swedish might be smarter than Finnish or not, but it's important to repeat that there are 2 official languages here. So sometimes it can be a smart choice to learn Swedish instead of Finnish, or before Finnish, or together with Finnish, depending on your goals.
Great. Go ahead, Sanobar.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to briefly continue what Melissa was talking about the language and share my experience. Well, I actually completed the entire integration course when I came to Finland. I spent 1.5 years approximate up and down, considering the summer holidays in the middle. And I gave my full focus in this language. At that point of time, I was not focusing on doing any job search because I thought, being from a recruiter background, that I would require the language skills, and I gave my 100% in that. And I would really say that it really paid off, even though at RELX I am not using the language. But I will tell you for a fact that at least when I was networking, even within the Finnish society, I was able to use the language to a certain extent, and it creates a different kind of a bond or an understanding, even though if it's like broken Finnish. I would say that if you have the opportunity to learn the language, please go ahead and do it. Invest your time, effort in it, and it really pays off. So thanks.
I would like to add on to this because we had a couple of questions in the polls. I think we don't need to go through the polls with each and every question because Yochin started the discussion and it went on very well. So the first few questions were related to the languages, and most of the people, that is almost 60%, have attended the language courses, and still they are unemployed. But that makes me think that what is the basic thing that is going wrong that you should think, and maybe it might be your skill set, it might be your personality that you are getting out of your area, or you maybe it's like for that sake, for that time being, you are trying to learn the course, and then it's also how you are using it. So you don't have to be very shy of using your language skills whenever it is needed, at least for yourself, I would say. So I think those questions are related to what we are discussing now. And I think that people should, along with the skill set, people should also develop their language and use it even in cover letter. I have tried in cover letter writing 2 different cover letters, one in Finnish and one in English, and people do used to reply very nicely, and and I used to get very good feedbacks. Even if you are not recruited, that feedbacks works out very well actually, and it pays away for the next one. So that was the idea behind it. So but then what do you think? Do we have any hands up? Vismit?
Yeah, I think Melissa also had something to share.
Yes, thanks. Well, just a quick comment still also, kind of like that this language issue being a two-way street in many contexts, but one consideration also when you are when you're looking for jobs, kind of like showing that you are putting effort, not necessarily speaking fluent Finnish or even adequate Finnish, but you are putting an effort into, is actually something that can be interpreted as a sign of commitment, that you're planning to stay here for a while. Because it is, I think, quite a natural question in a recruiter's mind that, okay, this is a perfect, would be a perfect match. Is there a risk that this person will vanish to the next country in 6 months? So kind of like to diminish that kind of like perception of risk, saying that, I'm putting a lot of effort into learning Finnish, in addition to kind of like sort of narrowing the psychological distance between people. I mean, laughter is that's the shortest distance between people. If you're able to laugh with someone, and that goes over cultural barriers, then you're in a good place. But so you kind of like keeping that aspect of what kind of a signal are you giving recruiters when you're putting an effort into learning the language. I think that's a thought I'd like to share.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but we have like it's already 7:35. So just Vismit, just give me a few. We have one question from audience, so just we finish that, then we can continue if we wish. Okay, well, there are many home cooks are there. So how they will register their business, like if like how they can utilize their skills? Like when I know it's like we have to do hygiene pass and we have to register. And what else we can do with?
May I comment on that question?
Yeah, it's an open
So
question.
if I
yeah.
understood correctly, the kind of like if you're a home chef, an enthusiast, and I would
Yes.
like to make it into a business. There is a video, but I think it is in Finnish. But I think Nagi, Grace, and I, we can jot it down and come back to this, that how do we organize this information. But there's a good video, Business Espoo studio video, about how you can build a sort of health authority approved kitchen space at home. You know, specific, kind of like the example being that if you're like you make awesome cakes and you want to, you know, make business out of it, so there's a video about that. So, but the hygiene, of course, hygiene pass is one thing, and then how you make the facilities sort of hygiene or health authority approvable. And then, of course, you know, setting up a business, like Johan said, you know, the administrative side, the paperwork of getting incorporated in Finland is like this quick, but then how to make it into something that actually sustains you is then another thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I have one.
Yeah.
I have one quick question. Maybe this one would be the last one, I suppose. We had one poll question which says that majority of the people said that they don't find enough of opportunities. I wouldn't accept that to that extreme, but then I know that there are these kind of hidden jobs in Finnish market a lot. And especially with those with life sciences and other accounts and finance and other fields. So how the Finnish government or the TE office is going to connect these dots and make it visible for the people, because this has been asked by many of the people around. I have seen many people asking for hidden jobs. So if anybody can comment.
Well, I can say something about that. It is a bit of a form of art of finding those jobs, and of course it's not that easy. But we have some webinars. We are providing some webinars on that area and also other areas. So in the TE office websites there are the calendar of all our webinars and these kind of things that are focusing on different issues. And also if people are very interested on the improving their skills to find jobs and look for jobs, and then I can always recommend the individual job search guidance, and you can then have one-to-one chat with a specialist who can then help you with these kind of issues, and you can look together on how to look for your field of hidden jobs.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, Vismit, I have one question from you. Like you have done IWF mentorship, so can you just tell your experience with this?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. Yeah. So yeah, I was part of this pilot of IWF mentorship program, and I had an amazing experience. I am still in touch, like me and my mentor still talks every month, and we have built this relationship beyond a mentor-mentee, but more of a personal relationship. So I really like this program because I was matched to the right person, not professionally only, but we just clicked. We're just soul sisters, as we call each other, because we're exactly the same. We are passionate about recruitment, and we are just we're just there for each other. So some things, if I'm frustrated, if I'm just sad, I know I have a shoulder. I can share what I'm feeling. So I think I was fortunate enough to find someone like this, and I cherish that relationship for lifelong. So that's what my motive was, to find someone, not for finding a job, but to build a long-term relationship and to find a confidante, as we say, that someone whom you can trust and whom you can share everything and anything with. The person won't judge you, but then definitely is there understanding you. So yeah, that was an amazing initiative by IWF, and I really like this, and I wanted to be successful this year when they're starting this program again. So yeah, I wish them all the best.
Thank you for your great words. Thank you. Okay, Melissa, would you like to share something?
Yeah, there was the question of how do we facilitate, this finding the hidden job market, and I think that's Johan also referred to that in his presentation, and Vismit has been talking about it. That how do you sort of just network and sort of how do you organize serendipity? How do you sort of be organized in order for serendipitous encounters to take place? And I think, of course, we organize different kinds of events with a specific sort of recruitment angle to them. But what I've mentioned already earlier, I think fostering the opportunities for interaction between Finns and international talents in whatever kind of like context of everyday life, I think it serves that purpose, that you are getting one, you're kind of like weaving one sort of what do you call this, loop closer to the next connection that might take you to then the right person who has the contact for you. Of course, we do have also different kinds of tools and concepts where we kind of like can try to make you aware of what kinds of companies there are in Finland, because of course everyone can find the usual suspects. If you think of employer branding and you think of Finnish companies, I'm sure we all think of like 10, 20 same company names. So that's one thing, that we can create lists of companies that might be interesting to you, but that requires you to do what Johan was saying, that be clear, what are your interests? Which ones would be relevant for you? So if we are able to give you a list of companies, open up those who are not present in all the social media or other media. Once you know what you are looking for, what is relevant, what is interesting to you, and we provide you a list, you're able to pick the ones that would be kind of like most potential for you. So increasing the likelihood. Yeah.
Thank you. That was.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think like we are 15 minutes over time, so maybe we could close it. Thank you so much for all your time, and I guess this was a very good, valuable discussion as well. It will benefit many of us here, and for all the nice presentations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Yeah.
Thanks so much for inviting us.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.